Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is John House with House Fishing Adventures, and we are sitting here actually in the kayak still on Lake Murray. It has been an interesting day. Overcast most of the day and then drizzled quite a bit. Then the sun did finally come out, but it's the first lake that I've ever been at that's the entire thing has a grassy bottom, or at least the area that we're in, so it made it quite difficult. But through topwater most of the day, but I think just because the overcast conditions, you know, the fish were a little lethargic with the storms all week, so I don't think they were chasing much, but through topwater, like I said, most of the day. Tried my normal finesse fishing, but with all that grass down there, even Texas rig, it just was making it a nightmare. So ended up getting skunked. Didn't catch anything. Out here with Bryce and Wes, we came down together. I believe Bryce had ended up with a couple, and Wes probably got skunked as well. So yeah, tough day. Had a little bit of a malfunction with the chair on the kayak. Broke the strap there. So got to get that fixed. It's a simple fix, but made for a long day, not being able to lean back. So anyways, you know, here's a little bit of content that I did shoot. Like I said, it was raining most of the day, or called for rain all day, so very little GoPro footage of Lake Murray, but it's enough to put together a short video so you guys can check it out and see what I was seeing a little bit. But like I said, no fish in the basket today, unfortunately. So obviously didn't qualify for TOC, which didn't expect to anyways, but would have had to have basically a win today to qualify. So again, thanks for tuning in, and like always, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, post any comments or questions in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to answer them at my earliest convenience. Thanks so much. Bye. Hey, like I said, out on the water, didn't catch a whole lot of fish, and rather than show you the little bit of footage that I did get on Lake Murray, of just the area and that kind of stuff, I figured I would dive into some of the baits that I used, you know, on Saturday. Obviously they didn't work, but there's a time and place for all of them, I guess. But a little bit of showcasing my inexperience, not knowing what to throw. I threw about everything I could think of. So let's dive into it. I'll show you what I started with, and well, really not in any order. I got them kind of lined out, you know, in order so you can kind of see what I was doing. But I will say that I did start with topwater per some recommendations of friends of mine. You know, being a herring lake, you know, the bait fish being majority herring, they were saying, you know, clear topwater is probably going to be the best bet. So I did throw this pencil popper. It's Yozuri pencil popper. It's 135F. It's the clear one. It's the closest thing I could find with a clear that was clear to be able to have a walking bait to throw out there. But it has 3 treble hooks. Again, it's just a walking bait. I did find this quite difficult to fish. I've never really done it before. Not too confident in standing up on the kayak, but I do feel that you need to stand up to be able to twitch this properly to get the appearance that you're looking for. After that, on top water, I threw the reliable True South V-Twin buzzbait. It's got the two little propellers there, with this little curly tail trailer on the back. I did get 3 fish to blow up on it. Again, not really familiar with top water. Don't really care to throw it. It takes a little bit more patience than what I typically have, but I did throw it a lot. Got 3 blow-ups on it. One of them I did get within, you know, 5 or 6 feet of the boat and jumped off. The other 2, I tried to set the hook too early and sent the hook flying past me. So, but I did lose that one with about an hour to go in the day. I did lose the True South one. That's just the spare that I had. So then I just threw on a typical, old school buzz bait. I don't know if you can see that. I don't have enough line out of this rod here. I didn't want to unhook it. Anyways, standard buzz bait there with a frog, the chartreuse belly, and didn't really get anything on this either. But didn't see a ton of frogs down there. I saw a ton of turtles, so but that's a side note. So next thing we're going to dive into is a couple jigs that I threw. So obviously, if you've watched any bass fishing YouTube videos, you've heard or seen the chatterbait. That's what this one is. This is just an original chatterbait, black and blue. With the forecast saying that it rained down there all week, I figured the water would be completely stained. That was not the case, but that was my mindset behind it. So I had this black and blue with the green pumpkin crawl in there, and it's got blue speck in it. So I threw that quite a bit along the grass line. Again, never really got anything to hit that. From there, I also threw a black and blue swim jig. Had a paddle tail on that, trailer. Nothing. And then I even threw a swivel head football jig with a creature bait on the back of it. June bug. It's kind of got that the balloon color with the green speck, and didn't have a whole lot of success with that either. Again, the bottom was very grassy, so every time you would throw any of these jigs down there, if you let them get to the bottom, they'd just get hung up and come back with a big old rat's nest of grass. So that's what I struggled with the majority of the day. Also threw some swim baits. Some swim baits. This is a swim jig here, the blade swim jig. Threw that with a white paddle tail. Nothing on that. Threw this big guy right here, which is cool. It's got a magnetic belly. Trouble hook comes out of it, so it comes through the water really nice. But again, I'm just with learning and not really knowing what to throw. I was throwing about anything I could think of that would mimic a bait fish. Again, the reason why I threw this on there is it's got that clear belly again. And I also put a spinner bait on there. Now, I did hear a couple guys say that they did end up catching fish on spinner baits. I've never caught a fish on it, so I don't really know the cadence or anything that I'm looking for. But this particular one here is a skirted spinner bait. It's got a gold Colorado blade and a silver willow blade. And then I put the white pearl fluke on there with the chartreuse tail, thinking that their water would be stained, but it's a cool little bait. From there, I did throw, this isn't the particular one, I didn't throw red, it was a white one as well, but did get it hung up and donated it to Lake Murray there in Gilbert, South Carolina. But I did have a moderate diving crankbait on there. I want to say it was a 10 to 12 foot diving bait, 2 treble hook, white, solid white. But again, I was just trying, honestly wasn't trying to throw it in very shallow water. I think I came up on a point or something and it just got hung up on it. So I tried to pull it out, just snapped the line. But anyway, so there's that. Then a couple other things that I threw. So I started throwing a weighted wacky green pumpkin. This is the old dinger, Yum Dinger here. From the videos that I watched, said that pretty much year round the wacky worm would catch fish down there under docks and that kind of stuff. I just don't think they were in the mood, honestly. I think they were lethargic. I don't think they were in the mood to chase much. Probably wasn't letting this fall as freely as it probably needed to, being weighted. So with that mindset, I did change over about 2/3 of the way through the day, and had this green pumpkin candy wacky worm on there, but put the weightless offset hook there. It's weedless. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. It's just got this little guard on there, fighting so much grass. I just threw that on there. Was trucking that up under docks, but again, it falls so slow when you do that. I just don't really have a lot of patience for it, especially in a tournament setting where I feel like I was rushed the whole time just because I didn't get on any fish early in the morning. But then I also threw the old reliable, and with that, I was throwing initially. I was throwing the Biz Bait or True South shaky head hook. You know, it's got the bait keeper up front here, the curly bait keeper. But you know, this one's intended to stand up on straight like this and kind of bounce through. But with the grass, I mean, this stuff was just collecting grass all day long, through about any color you could think of. This one here is green pumpkin and black, but you know, just had it rigged up. You know, like I said, this one was meant to stand up. This one here is the SMH hook by Z-Man. You know, it's kind of got more of a rounded nose to it, so you would think that it would come through the grass a little better. Again, green pumpkin trickworm on that one. And then I had this, just a shaky head hook that I got from Academy. You know, it's just kind of got a rounded nose on it, but it's kind of a hybrid between the two of those. Really had the Morning Dawn on it, just couldn't get them to hit that. And even went as crazy as doing a curly tail green pumpkin Texas rigged, on the way to Texas rig, just trying to pull that through the grass, seeing if that tail would stand up above the grass and jiggle and get a strike. But again, never did catch anything on it. Threw about everything I could think to throw in that setting, and that I'm comfortable throwing anyways. I know that there's other things out there. Obviously guys caught fish, but I was not one of those. But I figured I would share, let you know what I was throwing, see if you have any questions or suggestions in regards to what I'm comfortable throwing. That's basically my wheelhouse. Those are the baits that I throw pretty regularly. And but if you think of anything else, I mean, if you're local to Lake Murray and you have suggestions on what I could have done different, or if you're brand new and like I am and just want to ask me about the baits that I have comfort in throwing, please drop some questions and comments in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those, or if I can't answer them, try to get you the answer from somebody else. So, but again, this was event 7 of the QCKBF Trail in Lake Murray. It was down in Gilbert, South Carolina. Ended up being tied for 64th place out of 76 anglers. There's 12 of us that got skunked there. Did drop me to 66th in points out of 183 anglers, and you know, kind of is what it is. Didn't really have expectations to do good in my first year, but as I started to get a couple limits in some tournaments, you know, it kind of builds up the confidence pretty quickly. So I just thought that I would go out there and catch 4 fish this Saturday. I did not think of anything about being skunked. So but again, our next event is October 1st in Jordan Falls over Raleigh-Durham area. Never been to that lake either, and have a lot of research to do before we get there. You know, with my work schedule and that kind of stuff, we don't really get to pre-fish a whole lot, so it's just kind of a bunch of online research, you know, see who will answer me truthfully on Facebook Messenger, and you know, just try to put together a game plan from there and see what we can come up with. But again, that's my spiel for this week. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below. But as always, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, comment, all that good stuff. It helps the channel out, you know, promotes the channel and makes me get a little larger. So appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for tuning in. Got another one. Yeah.